I'm going to share some information with you, and I want you to analyze it and to look at it and comment down below if you have anything to say about it. I was born in 1990. My parents were both born and raised in New York along with me. I was born in a city in New York. When I was born, my parents were so happy and I was praised so much. But they started to notice some things more and more, that I wouldn't respond to them or to their voices. So they got a little bit worried and nervous. So my parents decided to take me to the doctor. They ran a lot of different tests and continued to take me to a bunch of different doctors, and none of them could figure out what was wrong with me. So about 7 doctors later, they finally determined that your child is deaf. That is what they told them. They were in complete shock. They never had even met a deaf person up until this point. So they both looked at each other and thought, what are we going to do? They had no idea. So they asked the doctor, what do we do? The doctor said, I can offer you some different options. She can get a hearing aid eventually. But before that, another step we need to do is we could offer her a cochlear implant. And to do that, she's going to need surgery. My parents were a little bit hesitant about that since it required surgery. They weren't too sure. The doctor encouraged them, understand that when she has the surgery, it will be able to allow her to be involved in the world and society. So my parents thought about it and they discussed it and they decided to go ahead with the surgery. At the time, I was only 3 years old. Once the surgery was finished, I opened my eyes, which I actually do remember this. I remember opening my eyes after the surgery. Still to this day, I remember this. My head was completely wrapped up and bandaged. I had tubes and wires coming from my arms. I was in so much pain all over my body. And growing up, understand that I was very oral, or I learned to speak. I was put into a lot of therapy, and my parents encouraged me to use my voice and to speak. And I had improved over time, learning how to use my voice and to talk. So once I had this surgery, it was a complete fail. I was in so much pain. My ears hurt tremendously. I had never felt like pain. I had never experienced pain like that in my life. I told my mom it was just awful pain. It felt like my ears were just crumbling inside of me. It was just awful. I took it off and I said I didn't want it. My mom was just shocked and just didn't know what to think. And she encouraged me to try it again. And I told her no. I don't want it. No. That it hurt too much. And she encouraged me, please try it again. So I said, fine. So I I didn't even put it on my ear. I just touched it to my ear and it hurt too bad again. So I took it off. So they realized that the surgery didn't work. And they called the doctor, and the doctor immediately said she's gonna need to have a second surgery. In a week. I was shocked. A second surgery? I remember being nervous about the second surgery. And when I woke up the second time, I was in a lot of pain all over. And looking back, I remember just hating it. And I just remember being so angry and just not happy at all. And I don't really know why, but I remember feeling a lump on the back of my neck. And I just felt very different. But about a month later, I did get healthier again, and I did go back to meet the doctor, and he was ready to check my cochlear implant and set it all up. And as soon as he started, my eyes started twitching. I was just like, what? What's happening? If he was working on my left ear, my right eye would twitch. It was just a mess, and it was so painful. I don't understand. It just was awful. Again and again and again. This just constantly happened. I just didn't understand. So, over a series of several months, I struggled a lot, and I never had the surgery again, but I did continue to use my voice, which did get better. And my cochlear implants never improved. They, in fact, didn't work at all. And I honestly just felt very disconnected from everything. I didn't feel like I understood what was going on. I felt like I didn't have communication with anyone, and I felt very alone. And just very isolated from everybody. When I was 15, we moved to Florida. I entered high school. I was in 10th grade at the time. And I remember imagining just being so awkward, being the deaf new kid in high school, and trying to make new friends, and just being very awkward and weird. I realized that you needed a language to take up sports. And so I chose to take ASL. I entered the class and it was easy. Learned my ABCs fairly easy. My numbers came very easy to me. And I understood them. I took it up very quickly. I continued to use my voice and to talk and go on with my life as normal. I graduated high school, and I did get a scholarship, and I was accepted to go to another college, one specifically for the deaf, for deaf. And I met so many other kids. And I realized that I was the only one who talked. And I had to learn to sign. Because it was very weird that I talked and that they didn't. The next day, I started to learn. I started to ask what the signs meant and started to learn. Every day I learned. For 3 months, I continued to learn signs. Once that program and that class was over, I had improved a little bit. I could communicate with the deaf person and in sign language. I went back to Florida, back to college. And then I was accepted in New York to a school for the deaf, which was so amazing. So I flew out there, and when I got there was a whole group of deaf people, big D deaf people. And I went to go conversate with them, and I said, "Hi, my name is Jackie. Nice to meet you." I said it just like that. And they looked at me and said, "Hi, what's up? My name is so-and-so, what's up?" So quickly. They signed it so effortlessly, and it just went completely over my head. I missed almost everything. I saw what they were signing, and it was amazing. It was such a huge change from what I had been used to all my life. And it was just so empowering the way that they signed. And that's my story. From being very vocal and then learning how to be more involved into the deaf world.